Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Um, so I've basically been saying that I was going to set up a YouTube channel for probably the last 2 years. And every time I start a prep for a show, I'm like, this is the one that I'm going to document properly, and I never do it. So yeah, now that we're in a continued lockdown in Ireland, and that seems it's going to be going on probably definitely until April anyway. Yeah, I thought I'd actually document what I'm doing. So basically, I'm currently in the prep at the moment. I was supposed to be doing a show in April in the States, but obviously with the travel restrictions in Ireland at the moment, that's definitely not going to happen. So I'm just tipping along and kind of maintaining where I'm at. So just a little bit about what I've done competing wise so far. So I've been competing since 2012, obviously as an amateur then. I basically competed as an amateur every year from 2012 to 2019 when I finally got my pro card. So I got my pro card at the Muscle Contest Ireland at the start of 2019. That was absolutely unbelievable.
Jessica Kavanaugh!
Oh, well done, Jessie!
It looks bad, like.
Oh, well done, Jessie!
I then went on to do my pro debut, which was in the December 2019. So that was the San Marino Pro in, where was that? That was in Italy. And that was unbelievable. So I came second at my pro debut. I was, oh my God, I got second at my pro debut. I couldn't believe it.
Competitor 52, Jessica Kavanaugh!
And when I got the scorecards after, I was actually only, there was only 1 point in the difference between me and first place. So it was close enough. So yeah, that was incredible. So I kind of thought after that was, like I said, December 2019. I was like, right, that's it. You know, I'm going to go straight in, do as many pro shows as I can. You know, try to qualify for the Olympia, whether that be through points or through winning. And then obviously, well, I don't think anyone's 2020 went to plan. So that didn't happen at all. Obviously, I sat the whole of 2020 out. I didn't actually compete at all in 2020. It was, I know a few people who did compete. There were some shows that were still on, but there were so many restrictions involved in actually traveling. Because now, I don't know who's watching this, if you've watched all the, if you followed me before on social media and stuff, a lot of the shows I did initially in my first few years were in Ireland, before I went international, and it was kind of a combination of the two, but now in the Pro League, the majority of those shows are in the States. There are a few in Europe, there's none in Ireland, so any shows that I do going forward will require me to leave the country, most likely to the States. So it's just not possible at the moment, and it wasn't possible in 2020. I also opened my own studio, my personal training studio, in June. So once that was open, because the kind of country had started to reopen then, so once the country started reopening, I just thought, I'll open my own place because I can keep everything one-to-one. So just if any other restrictions come in, here we have different levels of what can be open in a lockdown. So I was like, if I have my own place and I can keep everything strictly one-to-one, that just means I can keep my business open as much as possible. Obviously it's closed now at the moment because we're still in a full lockdown. But yeah, so once that kind of happened, there was a possibility in October last year that I could have competed, but I didn't know when we have to start prep 12 weeks before a show, so 12 weeks before, everything was still completely locked down, so I was like, look, there's no way. But it turned out time-wise that I technically could have competed in October, but obviously I wasn't ready. And if I had have competed, I would have had to quarantine when I got back and close my business for an additional 2 weeks. So I just kind of wrote 2020 off. But what I don't want to do now is things are changing so much in different countries and with different restrictions. So I don't want it to be a case that, things change and there's a show in 4 or 6 weeks that I can do, that I can go to, that I can fly to, or whatever it is, and I'm not ready. So I started in January, I started my prep. I started with a new coach, Team Zero Gravity. I've basically been prepping with Ryan since then. So what we've done is about 2-3 weeks ago, we were prepping with April in mind. About 2-3 weeks ago, I just said, look, the restrictions in Ireland are crazy at the moment in regards to travel. So I definitely won't be able to leave the country in April. So what we've done is we've just kind of, not pulled back, but we're just kind of keeping things roughly as they are. So I'll keep in the condition that I'm in now, which is roughly the condition I'd be sort of halfway through a prep. Maybe a little bit more actually, my body looks quite different this time. And then as soon as I know what I'm doing, then we can increase things and be ready. But I want to stay as ready as possible. I don't actually care if it means I end up prepping for the entire year. I don't care. I want to be ready, and like I said, I have competed every year since 2012. So actually sitting an entire year out, I can't do that again. Like I cannot do that again. So I don't mind this time. I think because I had that break and prepping, and not really knowing when the show is going to be, and because obviously my business is closed now, I'm actually doing a huge amount of work online, so it's a different type of business model. And on personal training, I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I could be straight through with clients till 2-3 in the afternoon, back in the evenings. So trying to fit prep around that is absolutely exhausting. So normally by 4 weeks out, I've fallen asleep standing up, not just because of the prep, but because of the nature of the work that I do. So now that all my work is online, the prep, usually by this stage in prep, I'd be in a lot of pain, I'd be really tired. I feel completely normal because, I'm getting proper sleep. I'm not up at 5 o'clock in the morning, or if I am getting up, I'm getting up to do my cardio, I'm not getting up to work. So, I can do my cardio, I can come back home, do a couple of hours on the laptop, get back to clients, do plans, go over and train, come back, eat, sit back down, do more plans. So it's a different experience, and it's a lot easier as far as a prep is concerned. So that's what I'm doing now at the moment, and just trying to keep condition. So I don't know if anybody's watching this who competes or has competed, it will be an interesting thing to see, because it's not the usual 12 weeks and counting down. This is kind of holding condition. Things are very different when you're trying to hold condition, because you're not changing the way you would every week. You're not changing the protocols the way you would every week. So it's a new thing for me, and I'm kind of interested to see how it goes. So that's my plans at the moment. That's my plan so far, is to basically compete as soon as is physically possible. And I just want to take you through what I do to get ready for a show, and what I'm doing to get ready for this show, whatever show that may be. So today I'm going to show you, I'm going to keep it simple today because this is my first video. So I'm going to show you my shoulder workout. Now shoulders, for me, initially in my earlier years, they were an area that, I won't say let me down, but that they weren't, in my first few years, they weren't very developed. So I've spent a lot of time, probably since, in 2015, I really cranked up my shoulder training, and I paid a lot more attention to my shoulders. So now I train my shoulders. I train them once a week, but I do a whopper session once a week on shoulders. I throw in a bit of arms at the end, and then I might do, if they're not tired, if they're not sore, at the end of the week then I will throw in a little bit more shoulders maybe with my back and chest, depending on how they feel. But it's just kind of focusing on the right compound movements, the right weight, the right angles. I don't go too heavy on shoulders because I did injure my shoulder a few years ago going too heavy, trying to make them bigger as fast as I could. So now I don't really need much more size to my shoulders. I'm just trying to condition them and get a nice shape to them and keep them looking sort of good for the top of the X frame, if you will. So I'll take you through what I do. I do a lot of angled work. I do obviously do some compound stuff going overhead, shoulder press and stuff, but a lot of my work is some more sort of smaller movements, detailed movements, a lot of rear delts, a lot of sort of side raises. So I'm going to take you through that. And yeah, that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to go and film that shoulder workout for you now. And yeah, I think this is the part where I ask you to subscribe. So obviously I'm new to YouTube. So if you like the video, if you want to see more, it'd be great if you would subscribe. Or if you have any comments on what you'd like to see. I want to share everything about being a bikini athlete and what it means and what you have to do, down to everything we eat, how we train, how we stretch, how we pose. You know, if you want to see videos on how to work in a particular muscle group or anything, if you want more details about how I got started, how the shows work, I'd love a bit of feedback so I kind of know what videos to make for you. So yeah, please do subscribe and comment, and I will see you for the shoulder workout.
Oh, Thank you.